Hello guys, the name doesn't matter here, and I'm gonna do my review of Ubuntu 26.04, and I just want to talk about things that I want to talk about this OS. So let's get started. So before we begin, I need to talk about my current experience with Ubuntu and Linux in general. So I've been using Ubuntu for about 4 to 6 years on and off. It's one of the main distros that I use, and it's one of the main distros that I use for Docker as well. I've used Fedora and Linux Mint and Debian as well. My laptop is currently on Manjaro, although being repaired. And yeah, I've been really excited for this release because it looks quite different. So let's get to the main features. New GNOME improvements, they're fantastic. However, when you look at the upgrades that Ubuntu 26.04 has versus 24.04, you have to understand that if the upgrade comes from the point of view of GNOME or KDE or anything else, like any desktop environment, you have to understand that that's not necessarily an Ubuntu change, and it's probably the desktop environment change. So what's changed? If you go to File Manager, the File Manager is improved. The options are better. Yeah, you could see like when you're transferring files, you can see like a file loader there. There's some other things. The biggest one for me is probably the apt improvements. So as you can see here, I've shown you a picture of something that used to be the case on every single Ubuntu and Debian distro, where when you just install the operating system, you'd get this Debian package lock on sudo apt install or apt update. And this thing was not needed. I don't know why it existed on Debian machines for as long as they did. I've had this issue with them for at least 4 years. Terrible. I'm glad it's gone. Um, you can now tile 4 corners of your screen by default. So this is what you can do. You can go like this, like this, like this, like this. Wow. I cannot believe it took up to 2026 for Ubuntu or GNOME or whichever one that they did implement this feature. This is a fantastic feature. The vast majority of developers have screens big enough to support this. I'm using an ultra wide. I don't know why this wasn't the case before. KDE had it. It's a great feature. Defaulting into previous directory on terminal launch. This is just a no-brainer. So here I'm in the home R noise directory, and let's press next. And I'm here again. Brilliant. I don't know why that wasn't the case. You can close it and it will do the exact same thing. And yeah, I don't know why it didn't have it. So great improvement. Defaulting into previous. Yeah, I already said that. I love the default themes of the terminal. So we go preferences. Now you have all of these themes. They did exist before in the terminal, but they didn't have all the popular ones like VS Code. The Ubuntu one wasn't there. Um, Dracula, classic one, and Nord. These are really classic. I wish it had Groovebox, but that's just probably because I'm a Groovebox nerd. Yeah, I wish they added that as a default. What's next? When installing VS Code deb package, it prompted me to add it to an apt repo. Yeah, VS Code, very popular deb package. I installed it using AI. I asked it how to install it, so I don't have to go searching for it. And instead of downloading straight from the GitHub or whatever it was linked to, it prompted me to add it to the apt repo, and it just downloads it from that and updates it from that, so I don't have to micromanage my own VS Code instance. Fantastic, really good, great. Now, let's go on to things that I really don't like about Ubuntu 26.04. Shift Super S does not allow you to make a screenshot. What do I mean by this? So if I do Shift Super S, I can do like a screenshot of a specific part. Then you can take a look at it. Fantastic. But this requires you to go into settings, keyboard, view and customize shortcuts and screenshot. It's such a ubiquitous hotkey in computing, and Windows users use it all the time, and I don't understand why GNOME users have to invent a hotkey combination to do this. Um, I guess I'm not every user, and I am a power user, but I'm pretty sure a large portion of the computing space uses this shortcut. KDE has it. I don't know why GNOME doesn't have it. Or maybe it's just an Ubuntu only. I'm not sure. Regardless, Ubuntu should have it. Flatpak is not installed by default. I understand that this might be like a political thing with Ubuntu, but Flatpak is one of the most important ways to distribute applications on Linux. Not having it installed by default is a negative choice. Most developers, most power users will just install it. And if a significant part of your user base installs the same app, perhaps, or the same application distribution method, perhaps you should offer it as default. Now, I would say you install it and Flatpak is installed by default. But if Canonical really doesn't want it, they could just do it like an option, like a tick box in the setup menu for installation for Ubuntu. There's no reason they don't do that they can't do that. Outside of they want to support snap packages better. But why don't you just make the snaps better if you don't want to see if you want to see it succeed? Just make snaps better. Make it a superior product, and people will flock to snaps even outside of Canonical's Ubuntu. I don't know. It seems a bit of a shortfall for Ubuntu 26.04. The terminal is no longer pinned to the dock. So when you'll install Ubuntu, you'll have like Firefox, Files, and I think like one or two other apps like LibreOffice or something. Terminal doesn't come by default. I'm not sure if this is the case on the installation when you're installing like a fuller version of Ubuntu 26.04, but on the minimal install it didn't have it, and I kind of felt it was out of place. I guess they're trying to make it less like scary for beginners so that they don't have to worry about the terminal, but I just felt like it was a bit of a weird decision. Text editor does not follow Ubuntu system language by default. What do I mean by this? So if we go to, we are on text editor, but as you can see, I'm using British English, and it doesn't follow it at all. It thinks it's a mistake because it defaults to the United States English for the text editor, and my system is made for the GB one, and I'm not sure why GNOME text editor can't do this. But again, this could be a GNOME issue and not an Ubuntu issue by itself. So let's get on to bugs. So the first one is really weird. So you go to Software Center. Where is it? You can go Software Center. You can download any device app, and before you download the app, it says cancel. You see this? Why does it say cancel? This could be a Flatpak specific issue. It could be a GNOME specific issue. It could be an Ubuntu specific issue. I don't know what it is, but it's a stupid bug. And these front-end bugs should be ironed out before a release is made. At least that's what I think. And one more. Again, these are minor bugs. None of these bugs really matter. And then the minor bug is Proton VPN. Look at this icon. What the fuck is this? What in the actual fuck is this? How do I zoom in? Why doesn't it let me? There you go. What the hell is this? Anyway, I thought this was stupid. I think they should remove it or fix it. Whether it's Proton VPN that needs to fix this, whether this is a Flatpak issue, whether this is a Canonical Ubuntu, I'm not entirely sure, but this is terrible and this shouldn't be the case. Bam. That's pretty much it for the video. I think that overall Ubuntu 26.04 is probably the best release I've seen so far. All of my negatives have been quite minor, and all of the biggest things that pushed me away from GNOME has been fixed. The tile four corners thing, it was not needed. Like, it was so needed that I would download GNOME extensions every single time. But this time around, I don't have GNOME extensions installed. And there's a reason for it. Because GNOME default experience is fantastic. And these things that seem minor, like the control shift super S thing, they're so important. And if GNOME can have it right, they will just beat KDE every single time. Anyway, that's what I think. So yeah, I just need to do something very important. Yeah. Right. Anyway, guys, so one more thing to say is that I bought a new mouse, Bluetooth mouse, and Bluetooth does not work. Bluetooth does not work on my Ubuntu machine, therefore I'm gonna go back to Windows. See ya, bye.